curious monsters, and welcome to the lab. I'm Teacher Jaffe, and today I'm gonna share with you something that I'm super duper pumped for. Today, we're gonna build a machine. We're gonna build this simple robot grabby hand. But if you stick around until the end, I'm gonna show you how I built a better version. This thing! Before we head into the workshop to build these things, why not like this video and subscribe to the channel so you'll always find cool, fun things just like this. Also, it helps other kids find cool, fun things just like this. It's a win for everyone. For this build, we're going to need some string, some straw, and the hardest, thickest paper that you can find. You can also use cardboard from old cereal boxes and other things like that. Then, we're also going to need some scissors, glue or tape, and a pencil. Also, we're going to need a teeny bit of help from mom, dad, or whoever else is older. So, grab all those things and let's go. The first thing we'll need to do is to trace our hands on the paper or cardboard. You can use either hand to draw the other. You can trace just your hand or a little bit up your arm too, so the grabby hand will be a little sturdier. Next, we'll need to cut out the hand. This might be where we'd need a lot of help. Cutting around the fingers might be a little tough to do. Now, take a few straws and cut them into little segments. We'll need about 3 segments for each finger, except the thumb, which will only need 2. Look at your hand. It should have 3 segments on each finger. The straws should go on the grabby hand on each of those segments. Then, we'll need 5 longer straws that go from the end of the finger to the bottom of the palm. Make sure all the tips end right at the same spot. Then, measure out a long straw as you need to make it to the bottom. Put glue on where the straws will go and air it a bit before sticking them on. This makes sure that the glue is super sticky before you do. Then, leave everything to dry. When the glue is dry, measure out some string. Loop the string through the top segment of each finger and then tie it off. Now, push the string through each of the straws on all of the fingers, then through the palms, and then down the middle. Tie the strings in a bundle and you're done. You've made a grabby hand. To make sure the hand won't bend over itself, I'm going to put 2 straws at the back. You can try carrying things by pulling the string to close the hand around it. It's just like how our muscles work to move our bodies. When muscles contract or shrink, they pull the parts they're attached to. That makes that part bend. Like these fingers, the strings are like the muscles bending them. The shrinking or shortening of the strings pulls the fingers to close. Relaxing the tightness on the string lets the fingers return to their stretched position. Now, here are some cool facts about our hands. Did you know that each of our hands has 27 bones in it? Some of them are really small and bunched up near the wrist. That's this part right here. Can you guess which of our fingers is the most special one? It's our thumb. Scientists believe that having our thumb move this way is the reason why humans evolved to how we are today. It's called an opposable thumb. It opposes or goes against because it moves in a different direction than our other fingers. Try this out. Try picking up or holding something without using your thumb. Only use these 4 fingers and see how well you get on. Having our thumbs bend the other way helped the first humans hold things, so they built better tools. Having better tools led to them being able to prepare and cook food better. Being able to prepare and cook their food better led to their bodies getting even more nutrients. Having more nutrients meant that they evolved better than all the other animals around them. And so on and so on. A domino effect that started from the bending of the little old thumb. Humans aren't the only animals with opposable thumbs. Chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, and other primates also have them. Some birds and frogs do too. And also some dinosaurs. If any of those animals learned to build tools with their opposable thumbs, imagine what they could have evolved to today. They might be just like us. Alright, enough of that. As promised, I'm going to show you how I built this bad boy. Since I wanted this to be a more heavy-duty hand, I used sturdier materials. So I used thicker cardboard and hot glue. Because it's thicker cardboard, I also used a box cutter instead of scissors. It should go without saying that you're going to need a lot of help from mom, dad, or anyone else who's older to build this beauty. Like before, I traced my hand on the cardboard, but this time I made the fingers a little longer. If you close your actual hand like this, the fingers should reach near the bottom of the palm. So on the cardboard, I made sure the fingers were long enough to do that as well. I also made sure that all my fingers were pointing in the same direction, because I found that if you spread them out, they bump into each other when I tried closing the robot hand. I also included a longer part of my arm in the drawing. When I was done with that, I took a ruler and straightened all the lines that I made. Instead of scissors, I used a box cutter to cut out my robot hand. Before I started though, I made sure I had the cutting mat underneath the cardboard so I wouldn't cut into my table using my blade. To cut, I simply follow the lines I drew using my box cutter. If you're making this version of the hand, let mom or dad do this part for you. Next, I made the handle and the strap so that the robot hand stays on mine. You can make those out of strings or ribbons, but because I wanted to turn this into an Infinity Gauntlet, I made a small box for the handle and 2 strips to stick it the rest of the hand. I also made the strap for my forearm like a box, so I could slide my whole hand in. I used a ruler to push into the cardboard so that I could bend it all more easily. I also cut a strip and stuck it to the back of the hand, so that it will be reinforced. That way, if I pull really hard with the string, the whole hand won't fold in on itself. Next, I painted the whole thing white because I knew I wanted to design it later. Painting the cardboard white would help me make the colors look nicer later on. If you want to design yours too, this is the point to do it. Next, I pushed the ruler down on the fingers so I could bend the segments better. I copied the bends on my own fingers. Then, I cut the straws like I did with the easy version of this hand. I laid them out in the same way too, except I put the top segments in a different way so that it will be sturdier when I pull with the strings. For the 4 forward-facing fingers, it's the same placement as before. The thumb will be a little different in this version. Since I want it to bend a different way than the rest, I put some straws at the back. But to get the string there, I punched a hole in one of the thumb segments. And I put a bit of straw through it. Then I made a path for the string all the way until the side of the handle. Then I measured out the string from the tip of the fingers all the way to just before the handle. I looped it at the top and then pushed all the strings through the straws, following the path from the fingertips of the robot hand to where my hand will be at the handle. When the strings are where my fingers will be, I made rings out of the zip ties so I can pull the strings. You don't need to do this. You can just make a loop around your fingers. And there it is, a hardcore version of the grabby hand. Since this is made of sturdier stuff, you'd have better control of the thumb and you should be able to hold heavier things or hold them better. Test it out. Try writing and drawing too. Isn't it awesome? I had so much fun building my Infinity Gauntlet style robot hand. I hope you did too, because I love it 3000. If you enjoyed this video, there are loads more like it on the channel. Look around for the next fun thing to do. Moms and dads, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook, so you'll always find the updates about the Curious Monster Lab. The links to those are down below. Anyway, I gotta go, and remember, you don't need superpowers to make the world a better place. All you have to do is be brave, be kind, and stay curious. Alright?